Okay, I think we'll get started. Welcome back to the support sessions for CHCDIV001, work with diverse people. I'm Sarah. I've recently joined the sci-fi team and I'm running support sessions each week for each assessment task. And then afterwards we'll have some drop-in sessions for extra support. If I'll just open I think next week is AT3, and then after that, I'll probably just open the classroom for anyone to drop in for support. So we'll see how that goes. Hope you're all well this morning. It's a nice brisk morning here. Nice and rugged up. So, well, first of all, we'll do the acknowledgement to country. TAFE Queensland acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and respect the continuing connection to land, waters, cultures and family that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples uphold. We pay respect to elders past, present and future. We recognise that teaching and learning has taken place on country for over 60,000 years, and two-way learning is an important part of our reconciliation journey. Okay, so I'm here today to provide support for the unit CHCDIV001, and today we'll be working on assessment task 2. I'll guide you through with a few tips and pointers, and then if you have any questions or queries after watching this recording, you can get in touch with us and we'll get back to you with an answer. Okay, so there's 3 assessments for this unit. One, hopefully, should already be in. I believe that might be yesterday. But today's session will just be on AT2. So assessment task 1 was due on the 8th of May, and that was the knowledge questions. Excuse me, assessment 2, we'll briefly run through today, is another written research project due on the 22nd of May, and then assessment 3 is a project due on the 5th of June 23. So today we are going to do assessment task 2, and the first part, the project 1, is on culture, and this is kind of fun project. Yeah, interesting. You'll learn some new things. So question 1, so it asks you to research and choose a culture that interests you, and it clearly states it must not be a culture that you cannot speak the language, so something a little bit different. Okay, so there's so many different cultures. Like this is quite exciting. We could do this. I mean, Italian, French, Brazilian, British, the United Kingdom, Indian, Chinese, Islamic, trying to think, American, Japanese, like you can choose one, and that you've always thought about or maybe wish to travel to or wanted to know more about, because then it asks you, question 1 asks you to provide, so the information below, which is religious beliefs about death and dying, which can really vary, food preferences, modesty and privacy, family roles and responsibilities, disability, aging, politics, and anything else that you might find important to gain understanding of that culture. So each of those topics, you just answer about a little bit and provide some information, about 25 words. That would be a couple of sentences on each of those topics below. So that's question 1. Question 2, provide 3 examples. So 3 examples of how you would include your understanding of the culture that you've chosen into your work practices. So these can be verbal or non-verbal. Down here. So it's how you could bring your own cultural understanding into the workplace of what you've learned about that culture. How could you best support that culture? Question 3, provide examples of the challenges that you may come across when communicating with communicating with a different cultural background. You know, what were challenges? So if you could write a few sentences about, you know, a small paragraph about what challenges you think you'd have with the culture you've chosen. And then question 4 is following on from question 3. It's pick 2 of these challenges and 2 of the challenges from question 3, sorry, and then how you would manage them. What strategies could you put in place to help support the challenges that you might find with the cultural difference and the communicating with someone from the culture that you've chosen? Okay, so that's all pretty clear. Look. And project 2, research project. Okay. So it says you'll research and connect in your learning guide, the internet and libraries, and make sure you write a few questions, a few sentences per question. Okay, so you'll need to conduct research to answer the 6 questions and just run through them. What does cultural competence mean? Okay, so cultural competence, like there's specific meaning. You know, cultural competence has an element of awareness to it, but if you research, you will get the meaning. So a couple of sentences to explain that, and then following from that, explain how your work practices will be culturally competent. So when your workspace, when you're working, how can you be culturally competent? So once you have the meaning and you have an understanding, how could you bring that? Think about how you could integrate that into your work practice. 3, what does cultural safety mean? So cultural safety is very important. So if you research and get the definition of that and get an understanding, then it follows on to question 4 and provide 3 examples of how your work practices could be culturally safe. How could you make your work environment culturally safe? So yeah, it's kind of a personal reflection, but once you have the meaning, answer the questions, then you can look at it and think, how would you best support that environment for a culturally diverse work environment? Question 5, what does cultural awareness mean? So cultural awareness, I think a lot of us know what it means to be culturally aware on the surface, but it goes quite a bit deeper about being able to look at ourselves, being able to understand why we might think some way, and then being able to work within that. Provide 3 examples. And step number 6 of how your work practices will show cultural awareness. So you know, it's more than just being, oh, I understand different cultures. It's once you research and find the meanings of this cultural safety, and cultural awareness, you'll be able to have a better understanding to link it in with a bit of reflection of your personal thinking and then your work practices and how could you create these spaces. So kind of interesting. I love this. I love about all different cultures and learning. I've worked in the space for many years working with different cultures, and I've learned so much. Really opened up my mind and also really forced me to reflect on my own personal beliefs and values and biases, and yeah. So I think this project's a good one, especially if you're going into work in the community services sector. Okay. In the additional content, I've put a little thing from the Human Rights Commission, just about cultural diversity. It's called Face the Facts, and it's just got some interesting little facts about diversity and in Australia. So that's just something for you to read and learn. Okay, so some housekeeping. Follow your due dates. They are in Connect on the unit page overview and on the right-hand side of your calendar. If you require an extension, please read the TAFE rules and make sure you align with these. Extensions are only granted in exceptional circumstances, so do not rely on these as submitting assessments late. They will be based on merit and individual cases. Okay, submitting assessments must be through Connect. Nothing will be accepted via email. All there on Connect to show you how to upload. And if you need any support or any questions, please reach out to the Sci-Fi team via email. Plagiarism, it must be in your own words, okay? Nothing is to be copy and pasted from the learner guide or from outside resources. The only thing that can be copy and pasted is in referencing. If you're going to copy and paste the resource, the link from the resource where you got it. So absolutely no copy and pasting. You go in, if you find some information that you like, read it, rewrite it in your own words, and that can be submitted, okay? So referencing, we do encourage you to reference. If you can reference under each paragraph. For example, say learner guide, page 52, if you'd found it from there, or like I just mentioned, the copy and pasting link from an outside resource and pop it under the paragraph. Requesting support, so email to the Sci-Fi team. On the next page, I'll go through that with you. Resubmissions, assessment instructions, all there for you on Connect to resubmit, okay? There might be one, little thing you need to fix or something like that. So, okay, up and coming due dates. Just went through these. It's so important. Assessment 1 was due yesterday, the 8th of the 5th. So if it's not in, get it in ASAP. Assessment 2, this assessment is due on the 22nd of May, 23, and assessment 3 is due on the 5th of June. 23. So don't miss the deadlines, guys. It's so important to get them in on time, and for your own sort of not to manage your workload and manage your study load, not to get stressed. Okay, so just as I mentioned before, any questions? So you can email sci-fi.north@tavequeensland.edu.au. Please make sure you include your name, student number, unit code, assessment number, question number or numbers, and outline your query. And it's really important that the subject line of your email reflects the email content, okay? So if no sort of attention to, or just, it's say assessment to support, so we know and we can prioritize emails and get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, well, next session will be session 3 on the 16th. So next week on the 16th of May on Tuesday morning at the same time, 9:30 to 10, and we'll look at assessment task 3 then. So thank you, and don't forget to reach out via the Sci-Fi email if you have any questions or need any support. Okay, thank you.